Oh, by the way, since you were talking shit, we talked about it on the last episode, but I just want to point out to you that Clerks 3 has done so well in sales and ticket sales that they've had to do a more broad opening. Even broader than the one that
out?
You got the writer and director selling it to his own fans. It's gonna, like, if he's selling a 50 stage theater, it's gonna become bigger than that. It's your cow milk something or other. He sucks.
I was just gonna say, that means that the opening is now getting bigger than the one in between Harley Quinn Smith's thighs.
Yes.
that you like to visit.
So. Yeah, it's coming out next month, Bob?
The 13th and 15th, and I don't know when they did, like, what other days now because of the broader opening. I don't know what they expanded it to.
Wait, COVID didn't have an effect on it?
No.
COVID has an effect on everything.
No, this is apparently COVID proof.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is it all the original people from Clerks 2?
All of them but the ones that died. Because what's her name died?
Oh, that's right.
What the fuck?
Blowjob girl?
Yeah.
What?
No.
No, it was the other
Not
one?
Marilyn Gigliotti, the other girl. The one that came home from art school and Dante was going to leave his chick for her.
Yeah, isn't she the one that screwed the dead guy in the first one?
I was going to say,
yeah. She died.
Yeah.
Yeah. But everybody else is still kicking for now.
But she wasn't in the second one, was she?
No.
Oh, no, she was. Oh, no, I don't know that it's going to be everybody that was in the second one. I know it's supposed to be everybody from the first one, and then I guess most of the people.
No, it said that he said that Elias was back and Rosario Dalton.
Yeah, they're both.
I just looked up the cast, and Elias is back. Tom, we're gonna go see it.
The closest theater is in Evansville.
Oh.
Or Cape.
Yeah, Tom looked this up the last time we were recording, and it's like the movie's an hour and 40 minutes, but your one-way drive to the closest theater is an hour and 30 minutes.
Well, Tom, we need to add Indiana to our camper map.
Yeah, we're just gonna go camp and then go around.
Leave the kids in the camper so we can go see it.
Yeah, can babysit themselves.
Be fine. They'll be
right.
fine.
Katie's old enough.
Yeah, be all right. And this was based off Bob. We talked about at the end of the last show. We kind of teased it. So what's coming out here that kind of led us into wanting to do something like this?
So Weird New Jersey's coming out with their own show, and the creators have described it as a cross between It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Stranger Things. Now, for those who don't know what Weird New Jersey is, Weird New Jersey started off as a newsletter that's published. How did we say it?
It was twice a month since 1992. Twice a year. I'm sorry.
Twice a year since 1989. Biannually. I thought that's what I said last week, but I don't remember because, CTE. But so it's been coming out since 1989, twice a year, and it went from being a newsletter to a full-fledged magazine, and they've made books. There's two very large volumes of Weird New Jersey Volume 1 and Volume 2 that are in book form. They did Weird US. They've done Weird pretty much collections for every state, I believe, at this point. And they collect the weirdest stories, obviously, from each state. They've done some TV shows in the past, but this one's going to be more of a scripted, horror comedy kind of deal. So I'm super excited about it.
Be like Tales from the Crypt?
I guess, except for it's from what I understand, it's going to be episodic and it's going to be serialized. So it'll actually carry over from one to the other. Whereas Tales from the Crypt and everything, it was kind of like a one-off. This is actually going to follow some kind of storyline.
Huh. Erie, Indiana.
Right.
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that those guys hit on in those books or the magazines or whatever were, abandoned things, kind of local legends or myths, roadside attractions, just kind of stuff off the beaten path. So I figured we kind of just go about some of our own personal experiences, or just kind of the stuff that we already know, like even stuff that's pretty popular, if we've ever encountered it or seen it or heard it or whatever. I think this would just kind of see what particularly since the 4 out of 5 of us actually grew up in New Jersey, but then there's also the weird U.S. too. So we there's a lot all over the country. There's stuff like this, so I think it'd be kind of fun to dive into that.
Crickets from the group. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see what stories they pick and choose from for the series. But like Tom said, I mean, like we've all been to most of the places. Like they talk about the Atco ghost. They talk about that bridge in Pedricktown, the Pedricktown ghost. They talk about the Jersey Devil. They talk about UFO sightings. All kinds of different hauntings. What was 55? Wasn't the nickname for 55 Indian Curse Road or something like that? Because they had built it over a Native American burial ground.
Yeah, it was supposedly built on burial grounds, but wasn't that connection down by us, Danielle?
What?
When they connected it back in the late 80s, that's supposedly where it was at. I think.
I thought it was near West Effort, or not West Effort, Washington Township.
Up that way, okay.
Down where I'm at, it was all like backwoods. It was all like wooded land before they put 55 in.
Yeah.
Because I actually remember when they put 55 in.
Yeah, I do too.
Because we would go sledding down onto the road before they connected it.
But
does New Jersey have any like ghost tours or anything like that? Like around Philly or anything?
Oh yeah,
Chicago has a couple stuff like that. And I've been on some of those. Those are kind of creepy.
Well, there's that old hospital in Philadelphia.
Philly's got that. The Eastern State Penitentiary is the big one.
Yeah, not hospital. Yeah, it was a mental hospital, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's like Smithville. The Smithville Inn is super haunted down off of Route 9. There's a ton. Like there's so many different haunted attractions in the area. And Rich, what were you saying?
I was going to say it was 1983 when they built 55 or started building 55. And it was, they said that the ghost starting appearing near exit 53 in Deffert.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I was going to say, I don't think it was down by us because ours was all woods. Because that's where the guy, the guy that my pop-up always talked about, the guy that lived in the barrel, he lived on Cedar Bridge Road in the woods.
Yeah, 53 was the Pittman Winona exit.
The guy lived in a barrel?
He lived in a barrel in a creek. In a creek down there. And I can't remember what his name was. But he was
Under the Sea?
Donkey Kong?
No, my mom would know. No, my mom would know. But he was the one that my grandfather's aunt always thought was going to break into her house. So she would go through like this whole like nighttime routine of making sure that like all of her doors were shut. And then like she would get all the way to the end and she would look under her bed. And I can't remember what his name was. But my mom asked her, she's like, what you did all this stuff and then you look under the bed. What would you do if you found him? And she'd be like, I wouldn't let him go. That was my pop-up's aunt. But now I can't remember what his name was.
I think we'll just call him Donkey Kong for sake
Wreck-It
of story.
Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Boxcar Willie.
No, I can't remember what his name was.
That's
gonna drive me nuts. In about 20 minutes, I'm just gonna shout it out because it'll pop in my head.
Whenever after we stop talking about weird stuff and it goes off the rails, we'll see if it lasts 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's bound to happen. Big, you mentioned Chicago. You said had you been on a couple of ghost tours up there? Or?
Yeah. I mean, there's one with at Capone's house. He didn't really live in Chicago because he lived in a town outside of Chicago called Cicero. and he had a couple of houses out there because he bought off all the mayor and everything. Everybody was in his pocket, and he had a tunnel between his house and the garage for a getaway. One of my mom's coworkers actually lived in one of Capone's houses after the fact, and there was, remember, like Geraldo Rivera did like the thing in the 80s. Well, that was one of the houses that was in Cicero with Capone, and supposedly it was haunted with all the bodies that were in there. There's certain harbors in Lake Michigan, or in where there's guys where had cement shoes where they drop them in the lake, and supposedly there you see them like on misty nights. There's some really weird things with that. There's a cemetery too. It's like St. Mary's, and supposedly it's got like this nun that was accidentally killed there, and she like patrols the cemetery. And supposedly, if you go at night on whatever day she died, the gate is warm, and it's probably people just messing with it, but it's like hot to touch, and they see her shadow and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I forgot because you grew up in Cicero, didn't you?
Yeah.
So that would. Yeah, so you grew up in like a actual rough area.
Oh yeah,
with legitimate gangster type stories. Yeah. I grew up in the real tough town of Franklinville.
Mean streets.
To say, being Italian, that there is no such thing as
No.
mafia. It's all a lie.
That's right. It's all.
They're all legitimate businessmen.
Yeah.
And rat.
That's right. It's all just slander.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys see that since Lake Mead has dropped level, that they found a guy in a barrel with his like feet cut off?
He's looking for that other guy for a while now.
Yeah. So I was like, that's cool. I mean, sucks for that guy, but
Oh yeah.
So he didn't make it.
He was put there by that guy with the foot fetish we were talking about earlier. That's going to be cut out.
Exactly.
Tommy, Tom, it was Johnny Mocus. That was the guy that lived in the barrel.
Did he have feet?
I don't know.
Maybe
I'm pretty sure.
and that's
I
why
am
he
pretty
lived in
sure
there.
my grandfather was the only one that like remembered who he was.
Well, hopefully he had feet, because otherwise he might have ended up in Lake Mead.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
was,
maybe.
he ended up in a barrel on Cedarbrook Road. That's where he ended up.
And then the barrel was packed up and turned into Lake Mead.
After it went over the falls.
Right.
Talk about it is weird. What kind of odd though. I mean, what people do? I mean, people still kind of do that in like a, I don't know. I know they did obviously like 100 years ago to go over in a barrel in Niagara Falls, but like that was like a really common thing to do. Like what? I don't know what even possesses someone to do something like that.
There wasn't any internet or television. You had to make
Good point.
No
Good
porn.
point.
Yeah.
They all watched a little bit too much of Pippi Longstockings, wasn't that?
They had those.
Well, there was
They had-
cocaine in the Coke.
Going back to some of the stuff we talked about a couple of weeks ago with Tila Tequila, Pippi Longstocking, at least the girl from the American movie, went on to do porn movies.
Are you kidding?
Yep. I think it was the movie. I don't think it was the one from the TV show. But yeah.
Now, what would that have been called?
I don't think it had a good name.
Pippi Longdonging.
there you go. That's what I was looking for.
I know I was trying to think of something good. I couldn't.
All right. Are you guys seeing the page that I'm trying to share of the small wonders of Midgetville?
Oh yeah.
No, I was still looking up Pippi Longstockings. Her name is
I am too. I
Pippi
am looking up
Longstocking.
Pippi Longstocking.
Tammy Erin, Tamierin.
Tammy Aaron.
Yeah.
Wow.
So obviously now we don't use the word midget because it's a slur.
Yeah,
But-
so stop saying it.
Well, it's literally called Midgetville.
It's not.
What else am I supposed to
it's not
call
the
it?
preferred nomenclature.
What am I supposed to call it?
little people.
Midgetville.
N-word.
Yeah, it's
N-word, the N-word.
Dude,
So-
I mean, yeah, Bink knows this. There is a town in Southern Illinois whose mascot is still the midgets. Still,
Jesus
The midgets.
Christ.
Those mean the
yeah,
orphans?
Freeburg,
I have. It
Oh,
took me,
yeah.
Freeburg.
it took
Yeah,
me forever
right.
to find it, but I got the Terror of Tiny Town on DVD. It's all little people cast Western when they ride little tiny Shetland ponies. And
Get the fuck out. That's amazing. So,
Send me the link.
There's also a movie. This is unrelated, and I like how we're going off on a tangent. But it starred Chevy Chase and Carrie Fisher. It was called Over the Rainbow, and it was about the Germans and the Japanese in World War II. And there's Carrie Fisher works for the studio that was filming Wizard of Oz. So there's a convention going on where it's all the little people from Wizard of Oz. You have Mako, the actor, as a Japanese spy, and then you have Billy Barty, famous little person actor, as a German Nazi spy. And and it involves a lot of very un-PC stuff and makes it a very good movie.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
But the reason I've been saying Little Personville is that better? Is because there are these little villages in New Jersey that and they haven't figured out why. I guess some of them were some of like I don't know why they exist, but like I guess for people who were little people that needed a place to live, and they would all and they would make them, and so they're all over.
So they're
in New
legit
Jersey.
tiny houses.
Yeah, like tiny houses, tiny traffic signs, and tiny cars. They're all scaled down.
And I remember hearing about those, obviously from being a kid, and all the different stories you would hear that who knows what was right and what was wrong and what was the truth or what was not. But I'd heard everything from potentially being like places where like the circus and the carnival people would be,
That makes sense.
and that's where like they would like make their residence in the and I guess in their off season or when they weren't traveling. Who knows? I don't know that would be. Also, there has to be some the truth, some kernel toward it because I hate to be this way, but it's like I don't know back 100 years ago or more. Unfortunately, that was kind of a big thing, was a freak show type deal, and that's how they were treated.
Yeah, now it's just Walmart. But all right, I've got to read this entry because, and this is the thing. Look, the best thing about Weird New Jersey is only half of it is like stuff that people actually believe happened. I have to believe that only half of it is actually like people saying, "Oh yeah, this actually happened to me," and half of it is people just writing the most absurd shit that they can think of. And I think this one falls into the absurd shit.
I like how the other tab Bob has open is little people pornography.
That's false. That is false. But let me read this to you and tell me if you think it's legit or if you think it's just people bullshitting. Okay. Attacked by midgets near the GWB. For those who don't know, the George Washington Bridge. There's this place called Midget Town. It's a whole town full of midgets and albinos. As a child growing up in North Bergen, I heard many stories of this town, but nobody ever wanted to show us because we were too young to visit. As years passed, the legend of Midget Town faded, but was still in the back of our minds, waiting to be refreshed. In high school, my friends and I did many stupid things. Gee, that sounds familiar. One day, we were all drinking and met up with some people out in the Boulevard, East Cliffs. This one kid from my crew we met told us the story of Midget Town and how he had been there and was nearly killed. We all listened with disbelief, but his details of the story made us want to believe. He told us that he drove through the town late at night with his friends with the headlights turned off. They all started yelling "Fee, fi, fo, fum" over and over again. A couple minutes later, they noticed things were hitting the car hard. After the back window broke, they noticed it was rocks being thrown at the car by midgets all over the area. He told us that there were also some normal-sized people there too, but they had weird-looking eyes. All of us, when he was done with his story, we all wanted to go and see this village for ourselves. The kid was hesitant to show us, but due to all the peer pressure from all the kids around him, he finally agreed. We all got into cars and drove to the spot. I'm not sure exactly what town we were in, but it was real close to the entrance to the George Washington Bridge. As we entered, we noticed that the houses were unusually small. The doors were just about 5 feet high, and the roads were very tight. All of a sudden, we saw little midgets running after our cars, and they were throwing rocks. We didn't stay because the kid who owned the car didn't want the car to get messed up, so we left. We were all amazed at the amount of midgets that were there and how pissed off they were. We never had the balls to go back to Midget Town after what happened to us that day. We all tell our back in the day stories to each other, and this is one that always sticks out.
My question was rocks or pebbles?
wait, hold on. I got one more. I just came back from Midgetville. The one I went to was in Totowa, kind of by Route 46. The houses were really small, and we saw a couple midgets doing their midget thing. The cars were also much smaller than normal.
So what are you trying to, like, if any of that's believable?
Yeah, I can't believe that any of it's real.
Now, okay.
My question is, why didn't we go there when we all lived there?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, because it was up north. Nobody wants to go to North Jersey.
I thought those places were.
But we
you said
did
they're
go to
scattered.
North Jersey.
Yeah, I thought those places were scattered throughout, though, so we could have found ourselves in one of them.
We probably could have, but I mean, I don't know. I never had the desire to hunt them down.
Yeah, no, I remember hearing about them, but I just never went to any of them. Because I remember hearing about them, though, that they were like tucked away in the Pine Barrens, though.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I thought that there were some in the Pine Barrens.
Oh, I'm sure there were, but it seems like most of what I've read, at least in Weird New Jersey, has been mostly North Jersey for that stuff.
We have, well, in Clementon, Zippy the Pinhead. One of the pinheads from Freaks is buried there.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
The going kind of, we'll kind of probably cycle back into New Jersey quite a bit, because obviously this is like the one for most of us here. But one of the things that I'd found going through this, and I'd mentioned it whenever we were recording on that last episode, Bob, some of these places around the country have these like really bizarre festivals, and I think this was in West Virginia, go figure. But they have what they call a roadkill cook-off.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bink, have you been there?
I've been to West Virginia, but not for that.
Why not?
It sounds amazing. I try it. I mean, nothing wrong with seeing guys in coonskin hats.
I'm just kind of curious as to like actually any of the recipes. Like, what are you making with that? Like, is it possum? What are you making? I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't really sound, that appetite. Yeah, no, not my thing. But it's cool though to have like these just oddball things. So like, we obviously around here, when Bob and I we've talked about this before with some of the cryptid stuff. There's those like little legends and stuff, and you already mentioned up back in Jersey with like Echo Ghost and whatnot. Bink, do you remember any from any of those types of things where you had like kind of like a Bigfoot Jersey Devil type thing, but it was more of a real regional, a real local thing, like a ghost or something that was a haunting or that people would go kind of see or whatever?
There was oldest Salem Asylum, and supposedly there was some sort of ghost there. I don't know the exact details of it. I never did. And then supposedly there was another one with the World's Fair in 1893. There was a murderer who would have like trap doors. He would take people from the fair, he'd bring them, have trap doors, kill the people, and then kind of have acid and incinerate their bodies, and then have a furnace and do it that way. That place was actually just bought and bulldozed. and supposedly it's right by the railroad tracks, so you still hear people screaming by the railroad tracks. And then one other thing. Oh, I know another one. Supposedly when Barnum and Bailey came through Chicago the one time, there was a bad railroad accident, and there's elephants that died, and tigers and lions, and in the cemetery they actually have statues of supposedly where they buried them, and there's lions and tigers, and it's about 2 miles from the zoo, and at night you can hear the lions roaring from the zoo when people think that it's the lions from in the grave.
Oh.
So
I've heard that before. I've read that somewhere, and I don't know. That's got to be in like the Weird US book or something. It's got to be. I've read that before. That's a
that was probably 15 minutes from where I grew up.
That's
where it
crazy.
occurred.
Yeah, that story that one sticks in my head.
But I mean, you guys know, growing up in a city, like there's always noise. But like maybe on a light early morning or a late evening, you won't hear anything, and you'll hear the lions actually roaring, and then people think that it was the lions roaring from the cemetery. So that's probably kind of the creepiest one, I guess. But going to festivals. There's a festival up in one of the not Great Lakes, but one of the larger lakes, northern Illinois, where they have cardboard boat regattas. So these people build cardboard boats, and they race them. They dress up in teams, and they have awards, and they try to get from one side of the lake to the other, and it's pretty entertaining. I've actually been to that.
Have you participated?
No, but I've laughed at people falling down and sinking and all that fun stuff.
Almost drowning.
Yeah, one of them did I always remember this. They did a Viking funeral. They set it on fire and everything.
They do the Cardboard Classic up here every year, where they do cardboard sleds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they go down one of the mountains.
Sweet.
Yeah. So when you said the guy with the hotel or whatever it was that was dumping people and acid and stuff like that, that had me thinking a little bit about Uncle Ed, who I first heard about on a John Waters stand-up thing. And then I also heard the Dead Milkmen talk about him a couple times during their things. He was a guy in Philadelphia who, when kids needed like money for beer or whatever, they would go there and sell them their underwear or socks. And this guy would give them money for it. And apparently he did this for years and years and years. When he finally got busted, there was like a basement full of used underwear.
Ew.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's like I posted a link to a Washington Post story, but he's been written about a pile of times in the local. Apparently, it was one of them local legends kind of things after the fact.
Well, you guys aren't that far from Baltimore, and on Edgar Allan Poe's grave on his birthday or the day he died. I think it's the same exact day. They put the black roses on his gravesite, and they could never catch the person. They had like cameras up and everything.
We also have, I think it's in the Free Library right now. It's the Raven that supposedly gave him the idea to write the Raven. It was owned by Walt Whitman.
Really?
And it's been stuffed and preserved. Yeah.
Huh.
We also have Walt Whitman's grave is supposed to be one of them sites that people go to see all the time, and it's in I think it's in Our Lady. The graveyard is right on 130 in Camden. Really big grave or mausoleum, I guess, not a grave.
Well, what happens to the black rose on his grave?
Somebody just puts it there.
Oh, somebody just puts it there?
Yeah, they just put it there. And I think they've done different cameras and they've actually found the person that's been doing it. But it was like a big mystery for a number of years.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Didn't he die here? I think he died here, or he lived here for a while. I forget exactly how that worked out.
The one time I was in Baltimore, I saw his grave. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's one thing. I went to Baltimore several times over the years, but I don't remember ever going to see his grave.
I never left the harbor.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's where I've always been.
Yeah.
You don't want to
Yeah.
leave the harbor.
No.
Oh yeah, that's a shithole of a town.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even want to be like at the harbor.
The drive there's pretty though, at least from Philly.
Yeah, I got drunk there, and we walked up this hill, and then we realized we were at the fort where they did the national anthem.
Oh, Fort McHenry.
Fort McHenry. Yeah, we had no idea. We were just drunk walking, and like, holy shit.
Bob, are you alive?
Trying to think what else. Are you reading about Uncle Ed?
I think he's muted.
Where he lost the sound.
Yeah.
Near where
I'm
There we
still
go.
over
Hey.
here looking at
yeah.
Pippi Longstocking.
Yes.
I was asking Bink. I was wondering if he was running up that hill.
Oh God, no. I stumbled down. I rolled down it. I remember.
I know before we hopped on, Danielle and I were talking about a couple of random ones from South Jersey. Danielle, you want to share one?
Well, do you remember out by Bob's house? I believe it was Bob's house where there was like a baby doll head up in a tree.
Yes.
The one in Deptford?
Yes, that was on 45, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it 45 or because I don't remember if it was on 45, but I remember there was one.
Not 45, it was on Cooper Street. Right? Or no?
No, it was before you turn. So, shit, I can't remember any of the street names, but it was near. It was like on the opposite side of the turnpike from Nippers.
That's right. But in there for so long, you watched the thing actually grow with it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It was bizarre.
yeah. And then there was that body that they put in the tree, the fake body that they nailed up, and people thought it was real.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Out on the way to Kenny's house, out by Elmer, and I can't remember what road that is. For the longest time, there was a house there, and it was like in the middle of fields, like fields for days, and then like a random house, and then it had a big tree in the front yard, and about like 15 feet up was a shopping cart, like in the tree. And that was like that for like years. And I think that they finally took it down. But it was kind of like,
well,
how did you even get that up there?
Tom, how did we get that up there?
That's a good point. That was one of those nights we just threw out a shopping cart into the tree. Yeah.
All right.
You
But
know,
do you guys remember? All right. This is probably one of the most famous ones. Okay. The intersection where random traffic cones would just pop up. It was in Westville.
You know, I can't say that I remember that one.
I believe you had to say Reliant K 3 times.
Yeah,
and then the traffic cone would pop up.
And how about that one bridge where if you were on the one side you wouldn't see anything, but if you went to the other side you'd see a computer monitor floating down the river.
Yep.
Or that one time, that mystery when you had a party at your house and a random Christmas inflatable ended up on your front lawn. That mystery. It was Ghost. It was a Christmas ghost.
Yeah, that one was bad. That one was bad. I still don't even know what happened to it after that. But I felt bad about that one. I don't know who did that. I did not support that.
It was Ghost.
It was Ghosts.
It was Ghost.
That's what we're going with.
Christmas Ghost.
The ghost of Drunkmas Past.
Something like that.
Something. But no, I remember. No, that house though was haunted as hell, and
I remember you telling us that.
like that house was haunted. There was an office, a lawyer's office on not Broad Street. Yeah, Broad Street. in Woodbury that it was so haunted. It was so haunted. We would go in there and just automatically the hairs would just stand up, and like it was just bad. I don't even know. I can't even really get like there was just all kinds of weird shit would happen there, and like the vacuum when we would be cleaning, the vacuum would just like start to shut down, and then you'd hear somebody like talking, and there was nobody in there but me. But the vacuum would like slow down, and then
Where was that
sometimes
at?
this was in Woodbury, right on uh right on Broad Street, down near the police station, down near the old police station, because now the new police station is up near Polsky's. Um,
Hmm.
let's see if I can. So it was on the north side of the street. It was Tomasello. But in any event, it was yeah, man, it was weird. It was that was haunted. Fucking the top floor of Underwood was haunted. I don't know if you guys ever had the pleasure of being there.
I was there. I remember talking to you about that. I remember hearing that from other people too.
Like, it was bad. I hated that. I fucking hated working there, especially going upstairs at night. It was really bad.
When my mom was dispatching up there, it wasn't her center. It was another center before like Gloucester County like consolidated.
Mhm.
But I can't remember what town it was, but one of her friends was dispatching, and it was in the basement of like the police station, and it was right next to a cemetery, and they would hear doors shut and open, and they could like hear whispers and stuff like that.
That sounds
There.
like East Greenwich.
That might be it. That might be it. Because she was
Yeah, 'cause-
Mantua. She was Mantua. And I remember the name of the her friend, but I can't quite remember which place it was.
Yeah, East Greenwich, the police station was haunted, and they're right next to Eglinton Cemetery.
So
Or
that
they-
might have been it.
I wanted
They
to mention
were,
cemetery.
huh?
Eglinton Cemetery was in the Weird, New Jersey, but because there's a tombstone there that's shaped like a sofa or a chair, maybe it was a recliner or something. Like the guy really loved this chair, so they turned it into a stone tombstone for him.
Please
No
don't
kidding.
give my husband ideas.
It's not as comfortable to sit on.
Well, you're under it, so
You know what's funny? So there's that. So right in front of Eglinton, there's this one lot where there's a house, and we actually looked at buying, or well, my parents when I was little looked at buying that house, and I thought about how creepy it was, and I figured, yeah, it's super creepy. Nobody's gonna want to live back there. There's literally still just that one house. Like nobody else has built near it.
is there an airport back there too somewhere? Little tiny like single plane airport.
I'm looking at Google Maps. I don't see one.
Hmm.
I mean, maybe though. Look, anything's possible at this point.
And Botawato, isn't Botawato buried there too? The guy that
Oh yeah, you know what? There's an airstrip.
Yeah.
But it's like southwest of Eglinton. And it looks like a dirt airstrip.
I think it's like a private airstrip or something.
I thought the Botawato was buried on the grounds of the Botawato house.
Well, it might be.
I could be wrong. You know who Elizabeth Sellen used to live in the Botawato house.
House, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have a crush on her.
Same. Same. I always wanted to like find out what it was like to live there because she used to say how, like it was haunted and shit. It would have been cool to have been able to go in there. Maybe if one of us would have been able to get up the courage to ask her out, we would have found out what it was like in there.
In
This
more
is kinda
ways than
cute.
one.
Oh,
This is kind of cute.
what? The Bottle Auto House?
No, you guys talking about your
Crush.
your crushes from your youth.
This is like grade school. This was like, I think she moved before high school. So yeah, this is like grade school.
Well, she
Yeah.
probably
No,
moved
she went
because her
to-
house
she went to
was
seventh or
haunted.
eighth grade with us.
Probably
Because
you
we
guys.
went-
She probably had to move because of you guys gawking over.
The
Probably.
house
Yeah,
really
got one
wasn't
person.
haunted. It was Bob and Richie hiding in the closet.
Yeah.
can neither
peeping.
confirm nor deny that.
Yep. Bob had a boombox out by the window.
Yeah.
This slime just kept appearing everywhere. It was weird.
Oh, I'm done. I'm done. The funny thing is,
What was this girl's name? Because you guys
Elizabeth
named her.
Scarlett.
I apologize if you find this.
She's never gonna find it because nobody that we still talk to listens to us. She's not gonna fucking listen to it.
If she does, this will be the one she listens to.
Yeah, and this is
promise.
gonna
Yeah,
be
that's true.
this is gonna be the way we find out that there's this the only other listener, and it's her.
Hey, listen, if she is listening, hey, what's up? How you doing? You single?
How was
Are
it?
you in the-
How was it living in a haunted house?
Are you in the old fat guy's named Bob? 'Cause, I'll shave my beard. In the words of Real Big Fish, I'll shave my legs. I'll wear a bra. I'll even cut my penis off for you.
All right,
Is
this has
that where
gone
we
too
end this
far. This has gone too far.
Is that where we end this one?
Too far. Too far. I
Yeah,
was
I'm
going to
not
say
getting
something
anything.
about that mold that you could do for her.
It's okay though, because here's where we find out that she's actually married to a little person. They stopped listening when Bob kept using the word midget.
She was thinking about leaving him for me, and then she found out that I used the M word, and
She's also a fan of Reliant K
It's
and Harley Quinn Smith. So she
I
stopped
like Harley
listening
Quinn
a long
Smith.
time ago.
it's cool though because
I-
Bob's hung like a midget. Sorry, little person.
oh. Listen, Acorn Dick. Well, on that note, I think we've
I figure 6 more months at the gym is when I start sending out random dick pics.
are you exercising your dick?
No, but everything else is going to get smaller, so it's going to look bigger in comparison. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Could you imagine doing 1 pound curls with it?
Imagine.
Reminds me of the Tenacious D skit cock push-ups.
Great. This is great.
Yeah. This one's not going on our best of.
Yeah, the best of.
Well,
I was just thinking that sounds like a new website.
I
That was
mean,
the one me and Tom did by ourselves, right? That's the best
everything's relative. You know, Tom
Yeah, the
brought
best.
up-
The entire. Yeah, if I ever do a best of episode, I'm just gonna take the one Richie and I did, and I'll just post that.
of.
fuck you. We didn't even. Hey, listen, we didn't even have to cut anything out of the one that fucking Richie wasn't in that we just
That's a
did.
good. That's a good point. We didn't at all.
Hey, that means you weren't doing it right.
And we got approximately 1 minute in on this one, and you have to edit stuff out.
I don't even know that we were a minute in.
Yeah,
It may have been like 17 seconds.
Tom, I'll just wait. I'll just wait. This one will be done next week sometime. By the time you get done patching it together and using cut pieces from old episodes to bridge the gap, and the fucking
I'll just splice in clips from like old TV shows.
yeah.
Why is the Rockford Files playing during this one?
So
Oh, they
Brady
need to
Bunch
make
is
an
gonna get
hour.
hit in the face with the football.
Exactly. It'll be like 15 minutes of us and like 45 minutes of like, I don't know, Murder She Wrote or something.
No, I'll never be a teen model.
You leave Angela Lansbury out of this.
She was hot.
We looked it up.
She
She's
is.
still alive.
She is. She's still alive.
Oh, but she's still hot.
Hey,
She's
90
solid.
years
She's
young,
solid.
man.
Richie just wants to bang the cobwebs from her rafters. 3 inches in a cloud of dust.
Let's
She's
call it
98.
That's his and her sex life.
No, she's 95.
No, I was gonna
Wait,
say.
that's-
No, she's 96.
96.
3 inches in a cloud of dust. That would be Richie and her sex tape name.
Do you think she ever did it with Johnny Bench?
Probably. She might have been out of Johnny Bench's wheelhouse. Because he could hold what, like 8 baseballs at a time? Something like that.
Yeah, it was some ridiculous, like, gigantor hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good old Johnny
Anyone
Bench.
have any other weird, oddball things to close us up with, or?
There was in the woods behind Jen's house across the street. Back when the people let us actually like go out and adventure, there was a house back there that like the local like rumor was that it was a Nazi house, and there was an old like Studebaker type car back there. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's the problem is that, in 2022, that's not that odd to find anymore.
Well, yeah, but this was in the 80s.
Yeah. In the 80s, Nazis tended to hide it a little bit more than they do now.
Well, it was
It's
like an
still hard to find a
abandoned
Studebaker,
house.
though.
Yeah, Studebakers are hard to find. Nazis, not so much.
I don't know if it was like that type of car, but it looked like that.
Did it have like the jet engine nose cone type thing?
The front end was missing. Like it was rusted and just deserted back there. And then like the lady wouldn't let us go back there anymore.
Swastika hubcaps.
Us nosy kids, we were getting too close to the Nazi house.
Wow.
You damn kids. I
Mhm.
would have had you too if it wasn't for
Those meddling kids.
Bink, you got any other fun, interesting local to you, or just things that you've seen over the years, or?
Actually, there's one in Ziegler that my brother-in-law told me about. That's a little shit town around here.
Yes, it is.
Called Annie, and she apparently went around the town in like a black type veil because her husband died. And once she passed away, there were reports of still hearing her and seeing her on like the railroad tracks that was right behind her house.
Aw.
And my brother-in-law went into the house the one time with his friends, and there was a rocking chair, and the rocking chair was actually moving when they were in there. It scared the
Ooh.
shit out of them.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, so that was pretty messed up. It's about all I got. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of Chicago things, but
How come
you just don't hear them all.
nobody mentioned what's that prison that's supposed to be like the most haunted prison? It's in Philadelphia.
Eastern State.
What, Eastern State? Yeah.
We talked about that.
I
Yeah, it's
mentioned
one-
it.
Yeah, we actually, Bob and I talked about that on another episode, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, we
I don't listen to the podcast.
No, it was a long time ago, and I forget what we were talking about though. Was it in reference of like one of the cryptids episodes or something?
I don't remember if it was a cryptids episode or what we were talking about it for, but I do remember maybe was it the Halloween episode?
Oh, that may have been it. Yeah,
We were
yeah.
talking about haunted
That
houses.
would
'cause
make a
they
lot
do
more
the haunted-
sense. Yeah.
They do the haunted walks through there, the haunted tours and stuff. So we're probably talking about it in reference to that.
Yeah, that's right, because that's probably the same episode where he came up with double white coffin. Yeah.
Yeah, and corn dog butt plugs.
I was on that one.
Yep.
Oh, there's been a growth of .com since that one.
Yes, it sure has. Do you like bears.com?
Um,
Richie's
We-
tinyacorndick.com?
We thought that our house was haunted for like a while after we moved in here. Do you remember that? Like doors would randomly shut and open, and like
Yeah, we're pretty certain that the people we bought the house off of, it was just she was a widow, and we're pretty certain the dude died in the house because it was
Yeah.
like super creepy the first couple of years we were here. And like you have a the air kicks on, and obviously it'll shut a door if it's close enough type thing. I mean, I think that's very common in pretty much any house, just depending upon location of vents and whatnot. But the and the return, but the this thing, like, doors would be wide open, and I mean, crap would just close, or you'd hear something knocking, or it was really, really weird for a couple of years.
And
Not so much anymore, but
no, it stopped. But what's really weird is that he still gets mail. Like to this day, like what was it? What was it? 2000? Well, the last election, he got a ballot. It's
yeah,
like,
he's been dead for 10 years.
He's been dead for 10 years. Like,
if you're Democrat, you can still vote after being dead for 10 years, though.
I don't honestly know. I don't know him that well. I just know that he liked to open and close doors upstairs.
Yeah, well, he had where Tommy's room was apparently his
He probably watched
cave. What's that?
Said he probably watched you poop.
Thank you. I needed that.
Every time you yawn, he teabags you.
Tom, that's it. We're selling the house. We're selling the house.
He's watching you shower.
I was wondering how I got a
My
scratchy
dog
throat
just
every
looked at me
time.
like, "What the fuck are you doing, you creep?"
I wish ghosts on the both of you. The
That's
next
too
houses that you buy will be haunted.
I can't afford to buy a house.
All right, the next house you rent will be haunted.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, we since we do have 1/4 of our fantasy football league here, we should talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
So we're all in this, and we're doing it for fun. Richie, I know, is an experienced veteran of fantasy football. Bob and I know nothing about it. I know Danielle's like halfway in between. Sometimes she knows a lot about it, sometimes she doesn't. Bink, I don't know your level at all of fantasy football.
I play every year with my buddies, and I usually forget about the draft and auto draft. And then I let my one other buddy run my team for the year.
All right, so you would say on a level
win
of
that league every year because of him.
On a level of 1 to 4, with 1 being like very experienced, what would you say 1 to 4?
About a 1.4.
You're that high? Oh, very little. So you're
No.
probably more like a 3 then.
Yeah,
we did it reversed. So yeah,
I know all the teams' names.
Why are we doing 1.4? I mean, a 1 to 4 instead of 1 to 5. Like, what's this? The fourth?
Because there's 4 divisions.
Oh.
So I'm putting the 1s together, the 2s together, the 3s together.
There's a method.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out a good way to separate it to try to balance it better.
Gotcha.
Try to keep all the people that really have no experience whatsoever.
I did fantasy football, I think, one other time, and the draft went okay, and then several of my people got injured, and I never removed them from the thing, so because injured people don't get points or something, which is dumb.
Yeah, I know. They should give them something. I mean, hell, injured. Come on. Poor bastards can't do anything. At least give them some points.
Oh. So I literally just went in and I'm looking because we still have 3 teams that aren't in it. I don't know who did it, but somebody named their team Deshaun's Legal Defense. I love it.
That's horrible.
Okay. Let me see if I can figure out who is that or who that is.
Did you see what mine is?
Yes, the sod poodles. I love it.
Do you know what a sod poodle is?
Yeah, I actually, it's funny because I told Tom that Peyton and I were looking up funny minor league teams, and that was one of the ones we found. Was the
Yes, I have
side poodles.
I actually bought a tank top that has poodles on it because I'm like, I am no longer calling them prairie dogs. They're going to be sod poodles from here on out. And then I was like, it's just funny because we don't have them in Kentucky, so I just had to do it.
Yeah. All right, so that is Tyler Hazel, who is the husband of somebody that is from down here. I met his wife playing Pokemon Go. And so we became Facebook friends because we went out and played Pokemon Go a lot. And that's her husband. He's the one who is Deshaun's legal defense. And I absolutely love that name.
We got some good ones. Richie's got a good team name.
Yeah,
domestic abuser.
I might have to change my team name because you guys are coming up with good ones, and I just came up with like this lame one. I might have to work on it.
Tom's using the same one he's used for 20 years.
That's not true. My team name is different because the word bonk is unacceptable to ESPN.
It's a curse word.
Bonk?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Did you say B-O-N-K?
I can't B-O-N-K. So whenever Bob,
That's
Bob
a great video
me,
game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just playing
exactly. We talked about.
I was just playing it.
So I go to name my team Raxbonk, which I've used religiously every year in fantasy sports since 2002. And I get this notice on my phone saying that bonk was unacceptable because it violated the word policy or whatever.
But I can call my team the domestic abuser.
I was going to say
exactly.
It's okay.
So I got around it because I switched the O to a 0. So I showed the system.
That's what you get for that good computer science minor degree.
You're elite hacking.
What's the better, but the best part about it is though, in the other ESPN league that I'm in, that Bob, Danielle, and I have been in here. We were all last year, and then Danielle and I have been in it for a few years. My team name is still Radix Bonk, with Bonk being normal. So I guess it's okay if it's grandfathered in. I mean,
yeah.
Which reminds me, I was not invited to that this year.
Oh damn!
Yeah, you're still in it. He hasn't opened it back up yet.
Okay,
you're back in it. I don't know.
And there should be no question that I'm actually playing my own team because I will piss somebody off by dropping and picking somebody up that makes no sense.
Bink's got the.
You need 9 kickers, by the way.
Yes, that's 9 kickers, all punters.
Who, me? That's you. You always go for like all tight ends.
Yes.
I like a good tight
end. He likes the tight. That's why.
Tom's an ass man.
He is.
Bink's got the Ace Ventura Ray Finkel team name. Love.
Yes.
Can't go wrong with Ray Finkel.
Well, I didn't know how PG or whatever this league was. So I'm like, I'll just make it basic.
Dude, you could make it ESPN that'll dock you unless you're the.
Have you met Bob? Have you met Bob?
Yeah,
I didn't know about the other people in the league.
Better to beg forgiveness than ask permission.
Exactly.
That's true.
That's
I don't know.
It's better to rule in hell than serve in heaven.
If you get approved and Tom can't have bonk,
just cut this
I will
episode.
laugh hysterically.
Just cut this episode at me saying it's better to rule in hell than serve in heaven.
You can say midgets. You can say taking it back.
You can't take it back. Just because your penis is the size of a midget's penis doesn't mean that you can take it back.
I might actually have to be sober when I cut this one.
You might what?
I'm gonna have to be sober when I cut this episode.
So you can expect it next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I won't hold my breath on this one.
Hey, did we ever get the video of me playing with the dolls for that?
Oh crap! I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that. I've got the video, but I forgot to clip it out. Crap.
Fucker.
I know. I'm just not used to clipping video out. I'm just used to doing all audio.
Bob left me
So,
alone. That was a
The
mistake.
the one episode that Richie and I were doing alone, which I thought was pretty good, aside from the fact that at one point Scrappy started freaking out, so I had to go find out what was going on. So I left Richie and we didn't stop the recording because I don't know how all that works. And I came back and he apparently was making the little toys kiss on camera while I was taking the dog out.
Oh, here we go. Well, we have a captive audience here.
So great.
Since you guys talked about this, and I got my my picks in. What are Danielle and Bink? You guys go, one after the other. But what's your favorite Adam Sandler movie?
I'll go with Happy.
Yeah, that was mine too. Danielle, you got a favorite Adam Sandler movie?
I'm trying to think because it's so hard. Like we quote Happy Gilmore so much, but then also the Waterboy. So I don't know.
It's okay,
I think-
Danielle. There is no right answer.
I think I quote Waterboy more than I do any of his other stuff.
Oh, don't worry. The next question is going to be worse. So,
Oh, no. Great, thanks.
so then I'm listening to Bob and Richie's episode. And it's cool. They're talking about some good stuff, and they bring up Adam Sandler, which is good fun for me. And then they start talking about Dane Cook.
What?
Yeah.
Dane Cook, yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to Thunderdome, bitch.
What
It's
about
like a
it?
monkey fucking a coconut.
If you're going to ask me what my favorite Dane Cook movie is, I cannot answer that.
Employee of the month.
It's got to be
Wait.
Waiting.
Yeah, it's waiting.
I've never seen any of those.
Oh,
You've seen Waiting.
Waiting?
You've seen Waiting. We've watched
With
Waiting.
Ryan
We
Reynolds
watched
and
it.
Justin Long?
Yeah, we watched it within the last year.
Were we sober? No.
Yeah, well, probably not. No.
No. No. So then, yeah, no.
Yeah, right. We
None of
watched
you guys
because of
Employee of
Ryan
the
Reynolds.
Month?
You don't watch because of Dane Cook.
I absolutely was not sober if I agreed to watch a Dane Cook movie.
I saw Employee of the Month. I don't remember it. I forget who he was in.
Yeah,
with that.
what was that one? I mean,
That was Jessica Simpson.
That's where
right?
he's like working at like a Sam's Club, and he's the bagger, and then he turns into the cashier, and it's with Jessica Simpson. I know the cast sucks, but the movie was hysterical.
Who was
Dane
his
Cook's
rival
still
in that
in
movie?
it.
Give it a rewatch. Give it a try.
Mhm.
Ooh, I watched She-Hulk before we started. That was pretty good.
Oh, I love She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Did you watch the day after credit scene?
I did. And I watched
I-
this season of Beavis and Butthead is really good too. The new, whatever you want to call it, thing. It's funny.
The reboot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But I really liked She-Hulk.
Danielle and I are watching new stuff like Scrubs.
Yeah.
It's,
I watched the
Yeah.
whole run of Picard that's been released so far.
I haven't finished the first season yet, but I liked what I saw.
It was really good.
Sandman's out on Netflix too, and that's been really good. I've been doing that one slowly because I want to, I really like it, so I'm trying to take it
Yeah.
like almost an episode a week kind of thing because I'm trying to just edging. I'm edging on Sandman.
Jesus Christ.
I told Tom last night, I was like, I think that Stranger Things is finally to a point where we could like watch multiple episodes like bam, 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 bam in a row. So we should sit down and watch that because Brooks compared Our Neighborhood to that. And now I'm really, really curious if that was a compliment or not.
Is your neighborhood stuck in the 80s?
It is because like
it is.
there's
Yeah.
Well, it's Kentucky.
kids go out and play. You know, they just go out and play in the neighborhood, and like you don't have to helicopter over
And
them.
all of our the neighborhood we live in, all the houses were built in the 70s and 80s. So
Yeah,
and there's not been a whole lot of places that I've updated. So it looks like it really does. I mean, it's kind of looks like it's that way.
but when he was visiting, like several times, he was like, "This reminds me of Stranger Things," and I'm like, "Isn't that with like monsters and scary stuff?"
Well, it depends. Did he
I'm
say
not-
the Upside Down, or did he say Hawkins?
I
It reminds me
don't.
of the town. I will agree with you.
You guys are speaking like a whole nother language. I don't know what that means.
It's really good, Daniel. You'll like it, and it's
Yeah,
got Winona Ryder. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, listen. All right, Rich. This one's a you and me part of it. Well, Bink can probably go in on this one too. How hot was Winona Ryder in that show?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was she as hot as this James Way that's on fire behind me?
I would say at least 1.4 times hotter.
Yep.
See the callback there?
You know what? You know what's even hotter, Tom? Caldor.
I miss Cal.
Have you guys watched the Boys?
I
Yes.
did. It's really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I like.
I was gonna say, are you changing your background to Caldor? Are those new slacks?
I had that ready to go.
I still like the comic book better, but I like where they're going with the TV series too. I like that it's different.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like that they changed some stuff from the books.
I didn't like that they changed Wanted. I thought they changed Wanted into a stupider, like they got rid of all the superhero stuff, which was dumb.
What are we
I haven't
talking
seen
about
that.
now?
The Boys.
Oh,
Yeah, because I
We're-
watched Peacemaker. And my buddy's like, "Well, if you like that, then you need to watch The Boys." I'm like, "All right, cool."
Peacemaker.
You're not
Peacemaker.
hip.
I love.
I
Peacemaker.
never saw anything. I didn't even watch John Cena wrestle, so I didn't know a lot about him. But I thought he was really good in The Boys. And I
John
like.
Cena's not in
Yeah,
The Boys.
I'm sorry, but he just a Peacemaker rather. Yeah. And
How could you see John Cena in anything?
Yeah, you can't see John Cena.
No.
fair enough.
Oh, that reminds me, Tom. I had a kid ask me today how to spell John, and I was like, "For what?" And they were like, "I'm making a username," so I spelled it John. And then they were like, "Okay, how do you spell Cena?" And I was like, INVISIV.
You should have said JAWN. Go on.
Did everybody watch? Anybody watch Dynamite this weekend or Wednesday? Jesus Christ!
No, I didn't. I didn't
Alright,
see
good.
it. I was.
Did you at least
was
see
working.
the spoilers? Was
I
it 2
did
days
see
ago?
spoilers.
Yeah. I've never seen that guy wrestle, but they're calling him the god of all wrestling, so I'm kind of fascinated to see where it goes.
Kenny Omega.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's his nickname is the best bout machine.
and CM Punk's promo in the beginning was good too.
Apparently, CM Punk is going to quit again.
I was reading that. I don't know.
So I'm hoping not, but if he does, I don't ever want to see him on my TV again. Like, I don't ever need to see him wrestle again because I gave him the benefit of the doubt the first time. I was like, you know what, he got screwed over. But if he quits on another company, I'm just kind of like, all right, dude, just disappear now.
I don't want to see Eddie Kingston ever again. I'm getting tired of Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston just seems like fucking sour grapes every time he opens his mouth. It's just like,
And I'm getting more and more. I'm sorry, I'm a little drunk. I think that Chris Jericho is like the GOAT at this point. Like, I think he might be my favorite wrestler of all time.
oh yeah, he's fantastic.
He's like it's weird because I remember my dad saying that he used to watch like Ric Flair wrestle when he was a kid, and like it's the same thing with Jericho. And I think Jericho's still good. Oh, he's not as old as Ric Flair.
Yeah. Well, Jericho too. I mean, he does so much. He's got his fingers in so many
Yeah,
different.
and it just
you
seems
know,
like he's having fun too. Like whenever you see him do
Right.
commentary or something like that, he just seems like he's still enjoying it.
right.
And
I've even
yeah.
I saw Fozzy play.
Yeah.
And he was really good singing live too. Like, it wasn't in a place. If he wasn't singing, I'd have been able to tell. 'Cause that's how small and that's how close to the stage I was.
Like
Right.
I would say before that it would have been Rob Van Dam, but I didn't stay on to see his stuff in the WWE, so I don't know like if he aged well or not. But Jericho seems like he's still put on a good match.
Yeah.
Van Damme was
I
good
think
in the
he was-
WWE. He
yeah.
wasn't as. I mean, he had
He was limited.
he had a title run for about a month until they got popped with the. You
Yeah,
know,
him and fucking Sabu.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Which is
he was
ridiculous.
he was good in the WWE. Obviously, to me, the presentation was different because of how the time
No
was.
Sabu.
Yeah, exactly. And he was really mismanaged in any of his WWE time post ECW. My problem was with all that was that you're kind of in that transitional. WWE was breaking away from Attitude Era for one. ECW had obviously folded, so all that hardcore, really cool stuff was like kind of gone. And that's why this is what cracks me. Van Dam was in what, a month or so of that title run, if that. He gets popped with the traffic stop with basically weed.
Yeah.
And now you've got the WWE selling 420 shirts.
Right.
It's so stupid. Like,
right. And then you've also got the Usos, who every other week, one or the other is getting popped for a DUI. But you and I have talked about that before quite a bit. That just aggravates me.
Well, it all depends on what your last name is. I mean, is that not like everywhere you work? It's who you're connected to,
true.
And like the Rob Van Dam thing was so like BS, because like you look at what's going on in like football right now, and it's like you have people getting like a little slap on the hand for like much bigger infractions than like he was caught with weed. And it's like, I don't think that he made it a secret that he smoked weed.
Right. Yeah. Now, I think the biggest thing, at least with the Usos, is that Vince didn't want to lose the two sides of his spit roast. I think that's got to be it. They were fucking Vince, and that's the only reason they're still where they are. And now, hopefully, with Triple H in there, they'll lose their protected status.
Yeah, we'll have to do a wrestling episode dedicated when they killed off NXT UK, and there's some other things that have gone on. So, it's interesting stuff. But I've watched Raw the last 2 or 3 weeks, or part of it anyway, and it's been really, really good. Match quality's up, so it's exciting to have the competition again, not just the same old junk that was going back and forth every week.
Right.
That was making it pretty unwatchable. So,
yeah, I pretty much stopped watching after WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's in a much better spot now. I stopped too.
I still don't like the 2-day WrestleMania thing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, it looks like it's staying through at least WrestleMania 40, because they announced the WrestleMania in Philly, which is WrestleMania 40, is going to be a 2-day event. So, but that was also when Vince was in charge.
When is that?
It's 2023. No, 2024.
24.
Is
24. All right. It's in April.
Yeah. So I already told Peyton. I said, look, you keep your grades up, you keep doing well in school, and you keep going, and we'll make sure that we go to WrestleMania 40 one way or the other.
Take your vitamins, say your prayers.
We were doing so good.
I was hoping. I'm just repeating what.
Let's race with Hulk Hogan, brother.
Bob, I know you remember this on the old Lords of Pain and the forums.
Yep.
One of my favorite posters was racist Hulk Hogan.
Racist Hulk Hogan was the best. That was the best. All right. Well,
whoever ran that account was amazing.
I agree, and I'm fairly certain at this point now that knowing what we know, it was Richie. It's definitely Richie.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, I think this has been a good episode. I think we've covered a lot of territory, both good and bad, and stuff that'll be on there.
An hour of content left.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We were on for over an hour. We've got 23 minutes of stuff to use.
Yep. Okay, so I think it's a strong 23 minutes, though. It's a strong 23 minutes. So until next time, check us out
This is the first episode in a while I've drank. So
well. Oh, before we go, thank you to Danielle and Bink for being on. I look forward to.
I want to know what Bink's been playing the whole time we've been on.
I know, me too.
Tiny Tina, right?
Tiny Tina's.
Yep. Hey, yep. I've done a very good job of paying attention and doing everything I need to do.
I got to go back and finish Stray. I started playing it, then just stopped.
Yeah, I got to download
Soul Summoner. No, Soul Hackers 2 comes out next week. I think it's next week. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, thank you to our special guests.
You're
Until
welcome.
next time, we've been the Noise Brigade. Check us out on harambepox.com, harleyquinsmith8myballs.com, bigbeefyshootyboys.com, alwaysbechupacabra.com, chupacabraForDicks.com, noisebridgepod.com, and
You like bears? You say do you like bears?
likebears.com, and Facebook and Twitter.
Next time Danielle's on, she's got to bring her mom back on because I've been feeling really good about myself lately. So it'd be nice to have somebody coming back down again.
No, that's not happening.